Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on CBS News 24/7. I'm Lana Zach. It is about 4 o'clock on the East Coast, and the window to evacuate on the west coast of Florida has officially closed. Officials recommend remaining residents should hunker down to weather out the storm. This is a live view of Sanibel Island, Florida. You will recall that this was just devastated by Hurricane Ian previously. This is pretty close to Fort Myers. And now, just in a few hours, they are expecting to be hit once again. Hurricane Milton expected to make landfall along Florida's Gulf Coast. Authorities say this could be the most catastrophic storm to hit the Tampa area in more than a century. The storm has fluctuated in strength throughout the day. It is expected to make landfall later tonight as a Category 3 storm, and as much as 15 feet of storm surge is expected in some areas. You can already see how the wind has been whipping up the camera there. Milton will be the second potentially deadly storm to hit Florida in just as many weeks. Look at all this footage from some of those communities that are still reeling in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. At this point, at least 238 people are identified as having been killed by that storm, and officials have expressed concerns that the remnants from Helene could become projectiles once Milton makes landfall. This is video from the International Space Station, and it shows you all the sheer size of Milton as it continues to make its way towards Florida's Gulf Coast. Milton has already sparked several tornadoes in the state. No less than 10 have been reported since this morning, and that number seems to continue to rise every time we give it. The state's also expected to warm up throughout the afternoon. That, of course, worrying because the heat fuels severe thunderstorms in the area. Governor Ron DeSantis has previously issued a state of emergency in more than 50 of the state's 67 counties. The state's airports were closed as millions of Floridians had been urged earlier to leave their homes in search of safety. We go now once again to CBS News meteorologist and hurricane expert David Yeomans, who has been tracking the storm for us from Chicago. David, give us the latest 4 o'clock update on Hurricane Milton.
Well, we just got an update from the National Hurricane Center reiterating the multiple tornado warnings, some of them for confirmed tornadoes on the ground through parts of Florida. Also, the strongest wind gusts so far, 68 miles per hour. That just coming in from Fort Myers Beach. That's south of Tampa. Also, let me check out the maps. The storm was just downgraded officially from a Category 4 to a high-end Category 3. Now, this is not a significant difference because winds only dropped by 5 miles per hour, and this thing still really packs a punch, as not only has it weakened slightly, but it's actually doubling in size. That bigger wind field affects more people, of course, but it also increases the storm surge flooding that we see along the coast. I mentioned tornado warnings. You can see those red polygons from Fort Pierce on the east coast to just south of Orlando. A magenta or purple polygon closer to Miami. That is a confirmed tornado on the ground. The number of reported tornadoes has gone up from 10 to 12 and counting. Let's focus in on the eye. You can see that hole in the radar west-southwest of Tampa and Sarasota. The center of the eye now just about 60 miles southwest of those locations as the storm continues to trek toward the northeast. A storm surge warning in effect for much of the west coast from Tampa, Sarasota, down to Fort Myers, Naples, and even some minor storm surge in Key West. Also the east coast from this broad wind field, expecting a few feet of storm surge flooding from Daytona Beach northward up toward Jacksonville. Now, the highest storm surge amounts, this can be the biggest killer at times in hurricanes. It's from just south of Tampa, let's call it Sarasota, down toward Fort Myers. 9 to 13 feet of ocean level rise expected. This is down slightly from the initial projections, but still a force to be reckoned with. Remember, Hurricane Helene in Tampa brought a near record 7-foot storm surge. This will be very sensitive to the eye's track, of course, with the highest surge happening just south of where the storm makes landfall.
David, so happy every time we have an update, and it is a downgrade in any way as opposed to the opposite. But given that we're talking about Milton following right after Helene, and when you just look at how big Milton is, I'm hoping you can talk to us a little bit more about climate change and what role that is playing in all of this.
Sure. Well, climate change has been shown to produce warmer oceans, and warmer oceans are a necessary ingredient in fueling these hurricanes. The Gulf of Mexico, both for Helene 2 weeks ago and for Milton today, is record warm. Matter of fact, the ocean heat content, not just on the surface, but in the top 100 meters of water depth in the Gulf, is obliterating prior records. Our partners at Climate Central, PhD climatologists, much smarter than I, have found that water this warm for this sustained of a period is virtually impossible without man-made climate change.
And David, there's so many different things that go into the considerations for a hurricane. There is the speed of it. There is the strength of it. There is the size of it. Since it has grown since our last update, can you talk to us about the implications of its size growing?
Overnight tonight, we expect almost the entire Florida peninsula to be under tropical storm force winds of 39 miles per hour or greater. The bigger size not only impacts more people with the tropical storm force and hurricane force winds, also expected in Orlando, Daytona Beach, and parts of the Space Coast, but it also increases the amount of water that's piling up along the shore, the storm surge flooding. This is why a big, weaker storm can at times lead to more ocean flooding from storm surge than a smaller, more intense storm. This, unfortunately, is both. It's still a major hurricane, and it's growing in size.
All right, David Yeomans, thank you for that update. CBS News correspondent Cristian Benavides is in Tampa, Florida. Cristian, we see you there getting wet. It doesn't look as bad as maybe a little bit further out along the water, but tell us what the conditions are like for you right now.
Lana, we are getting some of those rain bands from time to time. Right now, it's sort of a lull in what we've been seeing throughout the afternoon. We're right next to our hotel, but we are under a mandatory evacuation, and this is a mandatory evacuation zone. I want to give you a sense. I mean, most of downtown Tampa has looked like a ghost town throughout the day. A few minutes ago, we saw this car accident that took place here. Pretty much a vehicle that crashed into a fire truck, because most of what you're seeing out here are emergency vehicles. But something like this is not what you want to see. Why? Because all of that debris from the car accident, obviously, as this hurricane is getting ready to make landfall, all of that can go flying. At this point, again, downtown Tampa is pretty much empty under a mandatory evacuation. And officials say that really at this point, you should be wherever it is that you're going to ride out the storm.
And Cristian, it's good to hear that you are not seeing a lot of people around there. At what point do you and the crew need to actually hunker down as well?
Well, we're going to start to hunker down. Again, we're right at our hotel, right outside the hotel. We haven't had the types of the gusts of wind that would concern us just yet, because we're here, we're at the hotel. We think that clearly as this system starts to accelerate, as it gets closer, we'll have to head inside. But at this point, it's just all we're seeing is some rain. When we get the rain bands, we do get some strong wind, but we haven't seen any sort of flying debris. That's the key. Once you start seeing flying debris, it's time to go inside. But again, I mean, all we're seeing out here are emergency vehicles, but seeing something like this really, really concerns me, because how are you going to get a tow truck out here as you've got this emergency situation happening? You've got obviously first responders that are tied up with something like this, and you've got debris all over the place that could go flying as this storm comes in. And these are the sort of winds that we've been seeing. You can see that it does get to, you do feel the winds coming in, and but it only lasts for a bit. It doesn't last for too long. As it gets later on in the night, we are expecting to see the conditions deteriorate much, much more. And of course, we've seen how powerful this storm has become. And officials here in the Tampa Bay area are saying that it could bring a historic level of storm surge. Where we're located, we're about 15 feet off of sea level. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily expected that this would see some of that heavy flooding, but we're certainly expecting to see some flooding later on.
Well, we hope you will all stay safe. Cristian Benavides, thank you. Trish Pfeiffer is the mayor of Bartow, Florida, which lies in the path of the storm as it heads east. And I think it's actually, if my Florida geography is correct, I think you're about an hour to the east of Tampa, Mayor Pfeiffer. thank you for being here. I know that there's a lot that your constituents are concerned about right now. What is the biggest concern for you in Bartow?
Well, just weathering through the storm. And I think we've done a pretty good job. Our city team has worked diligently with the county operations, emergency operations center. So I think we're very prepared. We've done a lot of social media prep for safety tips and, things to try to stay safe. So right now, we're all in anticipation. We should all be home. We should all be hunkered down as best as we can be. And we're ready to hit the night in the dark with what this storm is going to bring us.
In these remaining hours, when you bring up in the dark, it's a powerful reminder that power outages should be expected. What do you want people who are listening to you or watching you right now who are in the storm's path to do with these final moments where they still have some power?
Well, that's a good question. Hopefully they've prepared by getting generators or a battery, lots of batteries. I even went and got solar lights. I got tea lights. I've got flashlights. I'm not really worried about the power or the electric going out. We know it's going to do that more than likely. The only thing I worry about is my refrigerator and the food in it. So I do have a generator that I can power up for that. But the main thing is after the storm is that people stay home so that our emergency crews can go out and do their assessment. We're the city of oaks, so we know we're going to probably have a lot of oak trees down blocking things, not to mention power lines that could be live, so you don't want to get near any of that. Some people tend to have a tendency to want to go out and see what happened, but please stay home. Let our emergency crews get the assessment so that they can then put the plans in place to get us all restored. And that process is going to take a long time.
Well, it's also worth noting that that Bartow is probably also a staging area for first responders, for other organizations like utilities companies that are going to want to get into some of the harder hit areas. Did you see a lot of people come to your city to try and weather out this storm in safety?
A lot of people did come here from the coast. We're an inland area, of course. People are trying to get hotel rooms wherever they could. Now they're all booked, so whoever got what they could, they did. What's really heartwarming is all of the utilities that are coming in across the country that will be helping us restore our power. We already have 100 that are headed our way. Some, I don't know if they're here yet, but some are already on the coast in Tampa. TECO has like 6,000. I think I heard the governor say 30,000 will be coming to help us. Everybody that's going to be in this path to get restored. So we're ready for them. Our city has got a fantastic plan for recovery and restoration afterwards, from feeding the linemen and tree people all the way to city staff and everybody that's going to do their best to try to get the city back on its feet. I
love all the things that you're thinking of, feeding the volunteers, feeding all of those first responders. In these final hours in the run-up to landfall, do you have any last-minute guidance for residents that you'd like to share?
For guidance, the best thing is keep calm. You know, there's no need in being anxious about it. We just had our phones go off for a tornado warning. It's a little unnerving, but and it's going to come in the middle of the night. So best thing is just try to keep calm. You know, I'm a person of faith, so I'm going to be saying a lot of prayers and just that's my greatest thing, is just to have a peace with that. So we pray for everyone to be safe across this whole path, not just our city, and look forward to what the day brings tomorrow and how we can get started to help people and help get us back on our feet.
Absolutely. I'll be joining you in those prayers. Bartow Mayor Trish Pfeiffer, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, the west coast of Florida is starting to feel the effects of Hurricane Milton. CBS News correspondent Manuel Bojorquez is in Orlando, where the rain is picking up. How are the conditions there, Manny?
Well, the rain has definitely become more steady here in Orlando, but the worst impacts from Milton are not expected until tonight and into the overnight hours, where it's still expected to be a hurricane as it comes over this large metropolitan area on its way out to the East Coast. Already some major operational shutdowns here in Orlando. The airport ceased operations for commercial flights that started at 8 a.m. Eastern. They say they will not reopen until it is safe to do so. At this point, all the major theme parks in this area have shut down. They adjusted their hours for today, and quite likely they will be closed all day tomorrow as the people here assess the damage left behind by the hurricane and start to clean up. We've spoken to people here in Orlando who are hunkering down in our hotel, and these are people who have left, who have evacuated from the Tampa area and the West Coast. So they're going to escape the worst of the storm surge, which is the reason why they decided to come inland, but they still will get the impacts of a hurricane. And what are those expected to be here? Well, the big ones, there is a risk of flash flooding from all the rain that is expected to fall, and of course, prolonged power outages. They are telling people that the winds expected in this area will definitely knock down trees, and that could knock down power lines. So those are the impacts people are preparing for here in the Orlando area.
All right, Manuel Bojorquez, thank you.